Welcome back. You're now listening to Style of Play Football, episode 28. Regular co-host is back, Kojo. How you doing, man?
I'm alive, man. I'm alive, man. No stress of club football. International football was here. I'm enjoying that. So, yeah, man. I'm good. What are you saying?
I'm good, man. I wish I could say no stress at club football. But we're going to get onto that next week. But there's been a lot of transfers going around at Chelsea and all the rest of it. And there's that much going on. I'm not even like fully up to speed with everything that's going on at the club. So we'll talk about that next week. But if you're new to the channel, as I always say on here, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, make sure you leave the comments and all of that stuff. So we appreciate all of that as well. Make sure you go to the audio version of the podcast as well and listen on the audio on your travels. But let's talk Euro 2024. Surprisingly, I didn't get to see much football this weekend, the first weekend. But I think, yeah, let's just start with Group A. Let's go through the groups in the order that they are. So we now know that, obviously, based on results last night, when Scotland's losing to Hungary, qualified so far is Germany and Switzerland out of that group. Fair assessment, you think Group A? I can't remember what we said at the start in terms of who was going to be going through the groups, but I think we probably would have said Germany. I should have listened to this before we recorded, but I think we said Germany and Switzerland.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely said Germany will go through. I think I tried to big up Scotland a little bit and say, come on, guys, you can do it, but they couldn't even do that. And you check their history, they couldn't change their history. They've never been past the group stage in a World Cup or a Euro, so that's just heritage at this point. It might be another pod, but we might have to discuss the fact that Scottish clubs and the international team just don't do well in European competitions in general. But yeah, Germany and Switzerland, yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I think it makes sense. I didn't expect Scotland to finish last though. But, you know, that was a weird one. Quick one, shout out to best wishes to the striker that got hurt yesterday, Varga. That was a terrible injury. But apparently he's stable and he's okay. So, yeah, man. But yeah, Scotland are going home again.
Do you know what though? It's mad because it's mad about Scotland because you look at their team. They haven't. I think we said it on before the Euro started. They've got like half decent play. Sorry, they've got a half decent squad with some really good players in it. So they got like Robertson, obviously Kieran Tierney before he got his hamstring injury, McGinn, McTominay. McGregor, I think, is in there as well in the midfield, in the team for them as well. So they've got a good. They shouldn't be finishing bottom of the group. And I think, what do you think has gone wrong for Scotland? Like, how do they prepare for the next tournament and try and qualify for that?
I think they've got slightly similar issue to England. Obviously, England have a lot more quality in it, so that England can get by and do what they can to get through to the knockouts. But they have this issue where there's almost like an imbalance of the squad. I feel like the managers, past and present, don't know what to do with the squads when they pick them. The football seems to be quite confusing. It's like half the players really want to go forward, but half the players want to go back. And there's a part in that game where they stopped a Hungary counter-attack and they had the opportunity to counter-attack themselves and went to the left side. But like 6 of their players, for some reason, decided to drop rather than have maybe 3 or 4 of those 6 join the attack and try and get something going. There's a bit of confusion in there. And that's when you have the top players that you mentioned struggle to work with the, I guess, sort of mediocre type players in that squad. You know, so that's the issue. But I think the second issue is they have just a lack of talent. For being real, we have got good players, but with all due respect to Che Adams is not going to. He's just not the kind of guy that's going to help you go forward. You know, with Wales, when they were doing well with Gareth Bale, they had that X factor with Gareth Bale. And when you have an X factor like Gareth Bale doing his thing, players like Howard and Kanu can find moments of magic here and there, but they don't have anyone, in my opinion, that has an X factor. So, you know, with Hungary, Sabazai hasn't had the best tournament, but he's their X factor player. He's their guy. In Scotland, I'd say Robertson's their best player, but is Robertson their guy? Or is it McTominay? Is it McGinn? These are all players that are very 50-50. So they got a big problem, bro. I don't know when they're gonna break that duck. They got a big issue. Being very real, they got a big issue.
No, it's true, man. Because I feel with Scotland as well. Like I was going to bring up Che Adams because I feel like he's one of those players that I think maybe his Birmingham and Southampton days he was good then in the Championship, but he's not really lit up anywhere else, and he struggled. I think when he had an opportunity in the Premier League as well. He's just not good enough as a striker. They need a proper, like you said, Gareth Bale, and even you think about like Harry Kane. You know, he's been the goal scorer for England, albeit through penalties for the majority, but he still gets goals and whatever else. They just don't have that, Scotland, and I think that's their thing. Where you can have him again, you can have a Robertson, you can have, Angus Gunn, who some might say is half decent in goal, but you gotta have someone in the front of the goal that can score the goals as well. And if they ain't got that, like I said, I think last week and even the week before that, tournament football's different, man. You have to have someone who's going to be hitting the ball and just hitting the ground running. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes for Scotland next couple of tournaments. Whether Steve Clarke keeps his job, John Carver's there as well, like as an assistant, I think. So we'll have to see how that pans out for Scotland. But yeah, bottom of the group eliminated out. Group B, let's move on, man. Let's move to Group B. So Spain currently the only team that have qualified in Group B. So yeah, they look decent. They've beaten Italy 1-0. They've beaten Croatia 3-0. Italy second, Albania and Croatia joint third with 1 point each. How can you see that going? How do you think it's going to go?
Albania have surprised me. Let me not lie to you. They surprised me. They've played really good, and I think you said it because I was like, yeah, man. I think I remember saying they're going to be whipping boys, and you were like, you just never know. You say you just never know, man. To be fair, they've really stood up and been accounted for. Spain got lucky against Italy. Let's give them
facts. No, facts.
let's give them their truth. It was a very I don't know. I don't want to say tactical. It didn't feel like it was very tactical, but more just two teams that just didn't know how to. They cancelled each other out. They didn't know what to do with each other, and they just took a bit of luck essentially. But I always say this, and I've always said this, and I don't know how people feel about it because it might be very critical. But when I say you create your own luck, and whether that's good luck or bad luck, that's up to you. That goal that Italy conceded is everything that I fear about Donnarumma. I fear him, and when I say I fear him, not good fear. I'm scared. As in, if it was my goalkeeper, I'd be like, bloody hell, I can't trust you. Because when that cross comes in, I understand as a goalkeeper, it's a tough one. If you palm it into the middle of the box, there's danger. But a cross like that, I feel like just calls for you to be more positionally aware and almost not letting it go by, but you got to have an element of trusting your defenders and a bit of awareness. And before that ball comes in, I always say the best players I've seen in the past, whether they're goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, or even forwards, they always scan very quickly. They know what's around them. Yeah. So if the ball's going by, they can just say, hey, let it go. Because we know there's no danger here. He doesn't seem like the goalkeeper that has that kind of awareness around him. And that's why I feel like they conceded that goal. He's got that touch on the ball and he's put Calafiori in a position where he just can't recover from. But other than that, I think those two will be fine. I think they'll get through. But if Italy get through, I don't see them going any further than the last 16.
It'd be difficult. I just want to read this as well. This is just something that has come up. So it says the Italians will finish second if they can avoid defeat by Croatia. If they lose and Albania beats Spain, then the defending champions will finish bottom of the group and be eliminated. If they lose and Albania don't win, then Italy will come third and be left waiting on other results to see if they can qualify as a best third place team. So it's all to play for in that group. I feel there's a lot still at stake. I feel, credit Albania because I think a lot of. I think I said before the preview that I don't know much apart from Amanda Breyer. I don't know much about Albania's team, so it's difficult to kind of assess them. But they've done all right. They've done really well. They got the draw against Croatia. They did lose to Italy, so they're trying. You can see they're trying. So I think we have to give them their credit as well. But it's interesting, Group B. I'm looking forward to that. How that pans out. See how the games line up. I think they're both playing today actually.
Yeah. 8 p.m. kickoff tonight.
Yeah.
8 p.m. kickoff tonight. What's your thoughts on Croatia, real quick? Because I feel like they're depending too much on the old guys, but I don't know what you're seeing.
No, I agree with that. I think with Croatia, I still think of Croatia, 2, maybe 3 tournaments ago where they kind of were the team. Like they were the team, weren't they? They were really good. But yeah, I think they're looking at like the Modric's and just yeah. I don't follow much. I don't follow their national team much, so I don't know how they've been playing throughout the qualifiers or whatever else. But through the tournament, they've been a bit below par, man. Losing 3-0 to Spain was you know a punch to the gut for them, and then Albania getting that point. So I don't think they've got done enough. And even if they could qualify or they go through, I don't think they'll do much in the knockout stages. If I'm honest, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this has to be the last tournament for your Perisic's and your Modric. I understand that these guys are still your talisman, but there has to be a change of guard. Now, obviously, like you and Mealy, I don't know much about their future talents, apart from maybe one or two. I know Lucas Susic. I like Susic. I think he's really good, but other than that, I have no sort of clear idea on who they can give as a talisman. But I think this is just the last year's. It's done. I think this tournament has been the last one for these guys. Unless they qualify for a World Cup, that'll probably be the last Modric, Perisic type. Yeah, but it's time to move on. It's time to move on from these guys. Their quality, obviously, but I think just like any other nation, if you depend on the older guys too much, it becomes a problem. And I think, we'll get to them eventually, but Portugal might have a similar issue if they don't know how to find a striker real quick to replace a certain CR7. But yeah, I hope Croatia win though. I'm going to be honest. I hope Croatia win and beat Italy. Not going to lie to you.
It's all to play for, man. Group B is all to play for. Yeah, last dance for maybe Modric, Kovacic, Perisic, all them kind of players. I think this might be their last tournament. But let's go to Group C, the group that should be the easiest group really for England to get out of, and they've made hard work of it as per usual under Gareth Southgate. But as it stands at the moment, England top the group, 4 points, with Denmark and Slovenia both sharing 2 points, joint second, with Serbia last in the group, 1 point. Now, it should be a very easy game for England tomorrow night against Slovenia, but this is Gareth Southgate. This is England, and he makes hard work of things. So, give me your thoughts on England, and early news coming out that I think Conor Gallagher is set to start tomorrow. So interesting from Southgate. But what's your thoughts?
Start for who though? For Trent?
I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It wouldn't surprise me to see them drop points in this game as well. It's the thing about England is, I think he shot himself in the foot when he went and done that post match interview and said that they ain't got a Calvin Phillips. That's bad. That's bad. My guy, you picked the squads, and we could have told you that you shouldn't have taken Lewis Dunk. We could have told you. No, we could have. We told you you should have taken Ivan Toney, because these guys have not been informed. So if you wanted to take that extra midfielder, and hell, I would have screamed on this podcast if you took Calvin Phillips. But if he's your guy, he's your guy. Don't come and use Trent. And Trent is getting so much criticism, but the fact is, Trent is not a bona fide centre midfielder. He's a right back who knows how to drift inside and outside of midfield, but also more than anything, he's on that right side where he balls in. You know what his strength is. So you're not putting him in the middle of the pitch. It's not working. You took Kobe Mainu and Wharton, who are bona fide midfielders, and they're good passers. They're young, but if you're taking them, that means you've got confidence in them to play. So what are they for? This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So whatever his plan with Gallagher is, look, he's not dropping Rice. So I guess it's going to be Rice and Gallagher. Whatever, cool. If that works, good, because Gallagher's not a bad player for me. It's just, is Gallagher coming in because you feel like he improves your midfield situation, or is it this engine sort of high energy breakdown play? There has to be a proper game plan here.
Yeah.
There has to be. And this is where England are struggling with this guy in charge. And that's why you're hearing nonsense about Harry Kane and all these guys. It's not a player issue. I always say, and I think I've said it here to you many a time, players got to take responsibility for themselves. But bro, when the writing's on the wall, Come on, man. Come on. I don't have to even go any further than that, quite frankly, to be quite frank with you. So, yeah, good luck to England, but it wouldn't surprise me to see them drop points. I don't think they'll lose, but I'll say this my chest. Whoever they get in the next round, they'll not beat him.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I think, yeah, I just think with Southgate, I think, and I said this last week when we recorded last Friday, I would actually probably put Trent at right back. I think it'd be a shame to, knowing that he's got the qualities that he's got going forward, and I know he's a defender, or he's supposed to be a defender and whatever, and people say he's not a really good defender and all the rest of it, I get it. But when you've got someone with that much quality going forward, and as England should be playing in terms of their attacking wise, you think about the attacking mentality part of Trent's game, it's second to none. He's probably one of the best crosses of the ball. The amount of assists he's been getting through Liverpool by playing as a right back. To say Carl Walker should start ahead of him is also a good point, and a good case that people can put up as well, because he's a good defender and his recovery pace is brilliant. But you have to try something different. And I think, like Gareth Southgate came out and said he's experimenting with Trent in the Euros. Like, you've had so many friendlies, so many warm-up games, qualifiers to do that with. I know he's been injured in and out of the team for Liverpool in terms of the injuries, but there's been opportunity for Southgate to do this experiment. You can't experiment during a tournament. Like, experiment during a tournament to me is crazy. And then coming out talking about Calvin Phillips, like, he took him to the World Cup, did he not? And how many minutes did he play? What did he do? So
this is why you can't be saying that you've got Wayne Rooney having the confidence to say that he should have taken a Jordan Henderson for experience. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What is it about this nation here? They messed up and voted for Brexit.
Mm-hmm.
They messed up and voted for prime ministers for the last 14 years. They can't even vote. They can't even vote properly on Love Island, and now they're doing bogus. Now they're doing bogus. They can't do anything right in this country, man. It's a joke, man. You can't vote on Love Island correctly. How can you vote and do it all to let players properly anyway, man? It's a joke, man.
Do you know what's funny as well? What was funny is the VAR thing. Like, we've been praising VAR throughout the tournament, and I can't remember what game I was watching the other day, and I think it was Anthony Taylor, and I can't remember the guy in the VAR room. He was English anyway. He's an English ref, and they got it wrong. For me, it was Holland. It was the Holland game. Sorry, it was the Holland game, and he got it. I'm not saying that the offside shouldn't have been given, but it's the time it took to get that decision there. And this is the problem with the English refs. They're rubbish. They're rubbish, and the team is rubbish, and the manager's rubbish.
I'm going to be very real, bro. They got it wrong. They got it wrong.
I would have gave it. I would have gave it as a goal, but I can understand.
Yeah,
I can understand why it was given as an offside as well, if that makes sense. Like, I get it. They're trying to say he was in direct contact to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper was never saving that anyway. So what are we talking about? That's just me. But let's move on from England, because they stress me out too much. But let's talk about Denmark. Denmark and Slovenia still have a really good opportunity to qualify as well. Both joint second, both on 2 points. You know, both games tomorrow. Obviously England, Slovenia, then Denmark, Serbia is also 8 o'clock tomorrow. So thoughts on Denmark, Slovenia?
Well, it's a tough one for Denmark, because I think England are expected to beat Slovenia, isn't it?
Mm.
But the thing about Denmark is, if you lose to Serbia, I think Serbia can go second, no? 4 points.
Yeah. They can still qualify.
Yeah. It's a techie one. So we'll see. But I think, I think you should expect Denmark to win.
Mm.
I did underestimate them at the beginning of the tournament. My bad, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay now.
Yeah, no, it's a tough. It's as much, like I said at the start. That's not a tough group, but England and maybe even Denmark have made it a tough group, because it's one of them where I think both of those teams should easily have got out of that group and been comfortable doing that, and they haven't done that with Denmark and England. But let's move to Group D. Group D, again, very open. I'm looking at it here. Netherlands, 4 points. France, 4 points. Austria, 3 points. And obviously Poland, 0 points. Lewandowski didn't even kick a football, I don't think. But it's all to play for out of those three nations there. Who do you see going through out those three?
I wish I could say Poland, because I'm a big Lewandowski fan, but I think the table remains how it is, quite frankly.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think it's something to have any change. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's as far as it goes, really.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean, looking at these final games here, obviously Poland have got nothing to play for now. Really, when you think about it, they've only got it's France versus Poland. This is on Tuesday as well. This is at both games at 5 p.m. So Netherlands, Austria, France, Poland. I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. I think both of the two teams currently occupying the qualifying spaces, Netherlands and France, I can see both of them winning their games, going through. I'm impressed with France actually because although Griezmann the other day had how many chances and didn't score one, but yeah, I'm impressed with France, man. They're doing really well. They're playing some really good football, and they're kind of just going about their football quietly. Like they're not doing too much. Do you know what I mean? They're just doing it quietly
Yeah.
and not doing too much. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. I agree. So I had to move because people knew I was recording and started talking to me. But no, the Dutch have enough in their firepower. My issue with the Dutch has always been in knockouts. I feel like there's always an element missing for them to win games. That's my frustration with the Dutch teams because they're a good team. It'll be silly to say they don't have a good team, but yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. As for France, on the other hand, I don't know when they're going to kick into gear.
Meaning,
as in, I know how good their team is, but they've started off very sluggishly, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I know they're going to miss Mbappe in the next game, maybe, and I think they should let him rest so knockouts he can play with his Zorro mask or whatever you got lined up for him. But I just think, if they're not careful, the favourites might be, dare I say, a little bit overconfident. They don't play like that. I think they play seriously. I feel like they play to go and win games with authority. But there's a bit of a complacency there. Or maybe it's not complacency. Maybe they're just not as good as I thought they were. I don't know. But I'd hope that we see a better team in the knockouts. They'll get their through. That's not going to be a question. But yeah, I think they need to wake up fast. There's something that's not clicking there for me. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but something's just not working. And I can't tell you.
I kind of agree with that. That's what I was saying. They're kind of going about their things just quietly with France. But I also think, with tournament football, you don't have to play. Like you have to win your matches, or you have to at least get out of the group stages. Then it's anything in the knockouts. But I feel that with France, they're just doing enough. And sometimes that's all you need to do in tournament football. Just get through the group stages, do enough, and up the gears a little bit in the knockout stages to make sure you obviously don't go through to extra time and penalties and all that nonsense. And then when you get to the final, it literally is just who wants it more on the day. So, I think France will be okay, man. They're now favourites to win the Euros outright. So, the odds have changed since England's poor performances. So, I'm looking forward to France. My money's still on Portugal, but I can see France maybe being in the final with them and giving them a run for their money as well. But let's quickly, before we move on, talk about Austria, who can still qualify as one of the best losers. I like to call them. I think they only need to, so if Ralph Ragnick's side win, they will qualify, and this will be as group winners if France don't beat Poland. And if a draw would see them finish third on 4 points, which is likely enough to get them through to the qualifying knockout stages. So, thoughts on Austria?
I'm pleasantly surprised. Because they haven't even been able to play Alaba properly. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? So, that's a big player. That's a big player missing, but they're doing very well. I don't want to really give him praise, but hey, Rangnick is he's doing all right. No, because I've always believed he's a good coach. I won't say famously, but I kind of got trolled on Twitter when he took over because I did a show where essentially we kind of spoke about like his tactical approach to games and what he did with Schalke in the past and everything does to so he's a bit of a football mind, and he is. He's not a bad coach at all. But I just think he's telling you right there. I think he was more focused on yapping a bit more than trying to get the team to play and just trying to get as many results as possible. But yeah, that being said, I'm still pleasantly surprised. I'm happy for them. I'll say that I'm very happy for them. I think no, honestly, I am because I think it's important to have these teams compete more than anything. It shouldn't be a walk in the park for the top two because they are the top two. Like, no, you're a good side, and on your day you can beat them. You can beat anybody. So, yeah, good luck to them. And sincerely, if they win, I'm not gonna be mad at.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Let's move to Group E. Let's move to Group E, which is apparently the history record breakers, the Group E, because this is the first time in the history of the European Championships 4 teams in the same group begin the final round of fixtures, all on the same number of points. So Belgium, Romania, Slovakia, and Ukraine all have 3 points, all have opportunity to qualify. If both matches are drawn, then the goal difference in all group matches will be used to separate the teams due to their head-to-head points total. Again, Belgium have made hard work of this, really have, losing to Slovakia. They've just beat Romania, I think, on Saturday, just gone. What's your thoughts on Belgium?
I think they've been okay. I feel sorry for Lukaku. Let me be very real. I feel sorry for him because he's got 3 goals and they've all been ruled off for offside or one thing or the other. And they are the right decision, but he's doing the right things. He's doing the right things. But Belgium, I will reiterate, are international Tottenham. They have a lot of talent, but they will not go over the finish line and finally claim something. It's just part of who they are. And I will also say a big part of that is because I think their defense is very weak. And I think if they play a better team, they're in trouble. Wout Faes and Vertonghen. Vertonghen was great, but he's a lot older now. He's experienced, but he's not the same guy that he was maybe, let's say, 5 years ago. Wout Faes, for me, just not good enough. Timothy Castagna, I think he's okay. I know the manager had beef with Courtois. That's why Courtois didn't go. But my guy, with all due respect, this is a flipping international tournament. Let bygones be bygones and take your damn goalkeeper. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. Stop it. Casteels, he's good. I understand he's good. Yeah, he can play them, but he's not Courtois. You know what I mean? It's the guy that had an ACL injury, was recovering, had an MCL injury added to it, recovered for the final, was still great enough in the finals to make some key saves with Real Madrid. This is what we're talking about. There's levels here. So, no, that's kind of shoot yourself in the foot there, but I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. They'll get through. But again, they ain't going any further than round of 8, in my opinion. I'm just call it a spade, really.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because obviously Belgium, like you've just summed up, Belgium should really be winning something. We've said it before over not just this tournament, but other tournaments when they've had the likes of Hazard in there. Even now, Kevin De Bruyne's still in that team, and they really have a really good individuals. The defense is a bit poor, like you said, but they still have Lukaku, who's a proven goal scorer. Whether people want to criticize him or not, and he gets a lot of stick, but he's still a proven goal scorer. Kevin De Bruyne is arguably one of the best players in the world still. So yeah, it's interesting with Belgium, but looking at the other teams in there, Romania, Slovakia, Ukraine, any 3 of those could qualify, which is interesting. I know all their games have been played Wednesday, 5 p.m. So out of those, I don't know, man, it's a tough one. I feel I'll be honest. I'm surprised at Romania. I am surprised at them because they're second currently in the group. They've scored 3 goals. Their goal difference is looking good. They've got to now start thinking about those things. If all 4 teams or both games are draws, then they need to try and at least win their final game against against Slovakia on Wednesday. And if they go through, albeit they won't progress in the knockout stages because we know they just haven't got the quality to progress that far. But to get out of the group is probably an achievement in itself for the nation.
No, it'll be huge. It'll be huge because Romania haven't had it good since the Hadji days.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Dan
That's
Petrescu.
a long time. Yeah, exactly. Look how far back we're going. You know what I mean? Showing our age a little bit.
Yeah.
But but it's a key point. It's a key point. Nations like that need a little bit of a lift. They need to sort of remember who they are, because for the younger generation, what they don't understand is these teams like Romania used to be giants
Yeah.
in football. It's not about what they win, because regardless, there's only one nation that can win every tournament. So, if they're not better than in the World Cup, talking about Brazil, Argentina, Germany, all these clubs, in Euros, Germany, Spain, like there's levels. I understand that, but they still are a nation that have produced wonderful footballers, and produced great teams. It will be brilliant if they can go through. This can be like a sort of resurgence for them. They've got Hachi Junior. Like it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. So I hope they go through. I think they will win against Slovakia. And if they win, there's no reason for them to not feel confident about whoever they're facing next round. You got to give it a go. It's international football, isn't it? So yeah, I'll go for them second. Actually, no. You know what? No. I'll wait for them first. I think they're going to top the group.
Right.
Yeah.
Confidence, man. Confidence. I like that.
Confidence. Yeah.
I like that, man. And you're right. I think when it comes to tournament football, as I keep saying, it's anyone's. Like you could be, no one's. Obviously, there's quality. You got the France, you got the Spains, you got whoever, but there's nothing to say Romania can't go all the way. I don't personally think they will. I think if they get out of the knockout, they'll struggle. I think when they get there, but we'll have to see. Group F, final one. Group F, Portugal have already qualified. 6 points. Come on. Turkey, Czech Republic, and Georgia. Now, all three teams, Turkey, Czech Republic, and Georgia, can still qualify. Turkey will need to avoid defeat against Czech Republic. They will then finish second and then go through. Czech Republic are asking a lot, man. They must beat Turkey. They will then obviously they'll be in second place if Georgia fail to beat Portugal. And the Georgians, man, they've got to beat Portugal and then have things go against them in the other game as well. So thoughts on the final group? Who's going through?
Portugal are beating Georgia, so they'll top the group, no problem. Turkey and Czech Republic. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Turkey will hit them second. Yeah, I think that would knock Czech Republic out of the best of the third place teams. I know 4 teams make it out of the 6 that are third.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd make it out. Czech Republic have good players, but I think it's a bit of an identity crisis with the way they play football. They're another team that looks like they just sort of don't have. I won't say they don't have a game plan. Everything is a game plan, but I feel like the players sort of have a bit of confusion when they're on the pitch. Doesn't look like they have a cohesive unit when they're trying to attack and create chances. So yeah, I think Turkey will pick them, and Portugal with Cristiano. Yeah, I think all day, every day. I think they're fine. I think they'll top the group, no problem.
No, I agree with it. Yeah, I was going to say, I agree. I think when I've watched Portugal, though, they look really good. Even though Ronaldo's in the team, I still feel confident if he wasn't in the team, if that makes sense as well. I still feel that he would still get enough out of them at the team. Do you know what I mean? I think he's that good of a player. But he's got to have his ego in check as well, because I think if he doesn't allow that Portugal team, at some point he might have to sit out. He might have to sit out a game. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think so, though. And the reason I don't think so is because I don't think his ego is an issue anymore. And in the way I mean that is, yes, like he's the captain and he's going to feel extremely important. And I think if the manager was there to drop him in one knockout games, he'll be like, what the hell are you doing? He'll question him, of course. I understand that. But if you look at the way he's playing, the way he's sort of trying to look after the younger players, he's even just being less selfish. Look at the goal for Bruno Fernandes. You're both 1-1 goalkeeper. Ronaldo, I know, is going to smash that.
He's smashing that.
He hasn't scored in this tournament yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But he just squared it because I think for him, it's about let's just get the results out of the way and let's go and win this tournament, you know? Because he has nothing to prove. A lot of people come and tell you, oh yeah, Ronaldo didn't score in this tournament. So if Messi scores in the Copa America, they'll be like, Messi scored his goal now. What are you doing in your tournament? That doesn't matter. What matters is about what you take home. You know what I mean? And I think that was the same thing for Messi. If Argentina go win another Copa America and Messi doesn't score a goal, you're not going to hear Messi say, oh man, I didn't score. It's what you take home. I think their biggest issue is on the wings. Bernardo Silva's a top player. Leao's a top player. But when the team is looking for, because people are sitting back against them, they're looking for counters against Portugal. So Portugal always in control of possession. Martinez needs to understand, in my opinion, that he needs to make his substitutions a lot quicker. I am no manager. You have a lot more experience than me, but I shouldn't be sitting on my couch at home saying, if you bring on Neto and Conceição on either side, it's going to change the game. As soon as they come on, what do they do? One assist the other. Kill teams off. You've got the players to do it. Just do it. That's all I can ask for you to do. So, yeah. I think that's more of an issue than Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's going to be fine. And that's what I was saying earlier on. If they want Ronaldo to be the guy that now says, okay, take some time on the bench, players like Gonzalo, Ramos, some of these guys need to level up.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they ain't got a striker that's ready to take the mantle. We're not asking you to score 50 a season. We're just asking you to be prolific enough to get goals. That's what we're asking for you to do. Ramos is inconsistent. João Felix doesn't know where he is anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so I think unless they wake those guys up, there's no one that can take Ronaldo's spot, rightfully so, to be quite frank.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's good points you make there. It's good points, very, very good points that you make. Yeah, I've still got Portugal down as favourites for me. I know they're not in the bookies running. I think they're like 11-2 at the moment, but they're still for me one of the best teams I've watched so far in this tournament. And I said to someone the other day, actually, there's not like the games haven't excited me. Like I haven't watched the game and I thought that was exciting. And no game, like I missed the weekend games just gone, but no game has stuck in my head. And it's like, oh, I remember that game. Like I'm going to remember that for years to come. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the World Cup final last year, for instance, that was a game that, you know, the way that Mbappe just turned up for 30 minutes and just did what a madness he done. You're going to remember that game for the rest of your life. But I haven't seen a game so far, unless you can jog my memory, but I haven't seen one where I thought that was the game of the tournament so far. The fact you've got to do that, tells me you can't remember it straight away. That's
No, because I need to go back to the results. But it was me and Ko were talking about it, and I was saying to him that the reason why we won't be talking about this game in particular next year is because it's between the smaller sides. Like the big sides are not exciting. That's my personal feel. That's what it is. Like I'm not sitting there thinking I'm going to talk about Romania versus Czech Republic or Turkey versus Czech Republic rather in 5 years' time. Unless it's a crazy game we get. I agree with your point, but we've had some good games in here. The one thing I've enjoyed is I feel like the less powerful nations have a bit more of the old school football style to them. They're not afraid to take long range shots. They're a lot more free flow with their attacks. Yes, there is going to be a bit of coordination in the defense and trying to create chances, but they're not afraid to try things. We're seeing a lot more step over, direct wing play. Yeah. We're seeing long range shots. We're seeing different styles of play. If the short pass is not working, they're looking for the long pass. You know what I mean? We're seeing all of that. And then you go to your bigger sides and it's like indoctrinated. You must pass at all times. You must cut in at all times. And if you play for Man City, when you get into the box, you must cut the ball back. It's all robotic. It's all just one way or another. You know how mad I was in the last Portugal game when Bernardo Silva had a 1-on-1 and he crossed the ball. Are you sick? Are you sick? Score the goal, man. What are we doing here? But yeah, I think I'll get. It has to be after the show, but I'll get that game. I'll get the result for you.
The one game. There's one game that I think will stick in my head, and it's Serbia Slovenia. Finished 1-1. Slovenia were winning. They were 4-1 to win the game, and Serbia scored in the 95th minute of the game. 90. I think it was 5 minutes and 2 seconds, and it was only 5 minutes stoppage or something like that.
Yeah,
it was a good game, but it wasn't. But it wasn't a standout game. For me, I want a standout game where I think, yes, this is exciting from end to end. 90 minutes of exciting football. Moments in games, I've seen a lot of that. For some good and for bad, like the fractured cheekbone last night, I missed that. But there 2 broken noses before then, and just think the VAR's been brilliant up until the English refs got hold of it. All of those things are good, but I want to see an exciting game from minute 1 to minute 90, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I want to see that, and we haven't got that yet. I haven't got that. So just before we wrap up, so far, the teams that are currently sitting in the third place teams. So obviously we've got Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Albania, and Czech Republic, but that will all obviously change throughout the week. And yeah, like you said, the best 4 out of those 6 will go through to the knockout stages. If it's all even squares after that, and obviously goal difference comes into effect then as well. So we want to keep an eye on for this week. Like I said, I think there's a couple of games on 8 p.m. like simultaneously at the same time, and then 5 p.m. there's some days as well. So just keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. Couple of days, see what happens. I'm still sticking with Portugal. I can't remember who you said. I feel like you said Portugal as well, I think.
Yeah, I said Portugal or
you had 2.
No, Portugal. Yeah.
I thought you had 2.
I think I had 2, but at this point, I'm discarding the other one. It's Portugal.
Okay, Portugal. We go Portugal. Okay, well, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think in the description as well. Who do you think is going to win the Euros? Who's going to progress out of those 6 that I've just mentioned? If it's going to be those 6, and who do you think Gareth Southgate will start for England tomorrow? Is Southgate going to put Conor Gallagher in there? In fact, before we do that, give me your lineup. Give me your lineup before we wrap up.
Hopefully, with no manager leading them to be sacked. But I'd go Pickford. Must be Trippier, won't it? At left back. I'll go Kyle Walker right back, only because I just want Trent out of the limelight. Look at me defending a Liverpool player. Look what you guys have done. John Stones and Mark Gay, centre back, no problem. Rice and Wharton. That's what I'd go. Gordon, Bellingham, Palmer, and Kane. Saka's been good, but I think you just sit him out for a game.
You start Kane. You still start Harry Kane.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, Watkins can come in and score. I'm not going to mention the other guy. I think you know how I feel about him. So, I'm not going to mention him. But if Watkins starts, no problem. But I still go with Kane regardless.
Yeah. My team would be too different to that. I would play Trent at right back, and I'd put Ollie Watkins in for Harry Kane. But I'd put Adam Wharton in midfield. Or Kobe Mainoo, one of the 2, but Wharton.
I'm enjoying Kobe not playing any football. It's lovely. Keep it that way.
Smart man.
Yeah.
It's been episode 28, Starler Play Football. As I said, make sure you follow the social accounts as well. Make sure you go to the Spotify and Apple Podcasts, listen to the audio version. And as I said, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the video, just hit the subscribe button. And yeah, we appreciate all of that, man. So until next time, we'll be back soon, man. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the sun, and we'll be back soon, man.